In the modern workplace, we are obsessed with data metrics and personality profiles. We use tests like Myers-Briggs DISC and Enneagram to categorize ourselves and our colleagues, hoping to unlock the secrets of productivity and teamwork. We believe we are rational beings operating in a logical system. But what if there is a much older, deeper, and more powerful system running in the background? What if beneath the spreadsheets, in the strategy meetings, our offices are actually mythical landscapes populated by ancient gods, heroes, and archetypes? The visionary psychiatrist Carl Jung would argue exactly that. He discovered that the human psyche, whether in ancient tribes or modern corporations, operates on a set of universal inherited patterns of behavior and meaning. He called these patterns archetypes. They are the hidden operating system of any human group. Understanding this system is like gaining a superpower. It allows you to see the invisible forces that shape team dynamics, influence leadership styles, and drive innovation. It explains why some leaders inspire fierce loyalty while others create fear. It reveals why some teams collaborate effortlessly while others are plagued by conflict. Today, we will pull back the corporate curtain and reveal the ancient gods of the boardroom. We will explore how understanding these archetypes, the ruler, the sage, the creator, the caregiver, can transform you into a more conscious, effective, and insightful leader, teammate, and innovator. This is Jung at Work. Before we meet these figures in our workplace, we must first understand what an archetype truly is. The concept can seem abstract, but it's incredibly practical. An archetype, in Jung's terms, is a universal inherited pattern of potential. It is a psychic blueprint for a certain type of role behavior and story that exists in the collective unconscious of all humanity. Think of them not as characters, but as ancient job descriptions for the soul. For example, every human culture has stories of the hero. The specific details change. It might be a knight slaying a dragon, a scientist making a breakthrough, or an entrepreneur overcoming impossible odds. But the underlying pattern is the same: confronting a great challenge, enduring a struggle, and achieving a goal for the benefit of the community. This hero pattern is an archetype. It is a potential that exists within all of us. The same is true for other archetypes: the wise old sage, the nurturing caregiver, the innovative creator. These are not just characters in fairy tales. They are living, energetic potentials within our psyche waiting to be activated by life circumstances. In a business context, when a company needs strong leadership during a crisis, the ruler archetype gets activated in its CEO. When a team needs a breakthrough idea, the creator archetype might emerge in one of its engineers. These archetypes are the invisible scripts that we unconsciously play out in our professional lives. The problem is, when we are unconscious of the archetype that is influencing us, we can be possessed by it. And every archetype has a shadow. Understanding them is the first step to harnessing their power consciously rather than being controlled by them unconsciously. Let's begin with the most visible archetype in any organization. The leader as the ruler. The ruler archetype is the pattern of control, order, and responsibility. When a leader embodies the positive aspects of the ruler, they provide a clear vision and a stable structure in which others can thrive. They create the rules, the systems, and the culture. Like a good king or queen, they take responsibility for the well-being of their kingdom, the company, or the team. They are strategic, decisive, and able to make difficult choices for the greater good. A team led by a positive ruler feels safe, stable, and clear on its mission. They know the rules of the game and trust that their leader is in control. This archetype is essential for any organization to succeed. It turns chaos into order and a collection of individuals into a cohesive unit. However, the ruler has a powerful and dangerous shadow, the tyrant. When a leader becomes possessed by the shadow of the ruler, their desire for order becomes a rigid need for absolute control. Their vision becomes dogma. They become inflexible, resistant to feedback, and intolerant of dissent. They micromanage their team, crushing creativity and autonomy. Their kingdom becomes a prison. Instead of empowering their people, they seek to dominate them. They fear chaos so much that they stamp out any new idea that threatens the status quo. A leader in the grip of the tyrant shadow creates a culture of fear, resentment, and conformity. To be a good leader, you must be able to embody the ruler's strengths. But to be a great leader, you must be conscious of its shadow. You must constantly ask yourself, am I providing structure or am I being rigid? Am I leading with responsibility or with a need for control? Am I building a kingdom or a cage? While the ruler provides the structure, another archetype provides the social glue that holds a team together. This is the teammate as the caregiver. The caregiver archetype is the pattern of empathy, compassion, and service. In the workplace, this is the person who is always there to offer support. They are the great listeners. They remember people's birthdays. They are the first to notice when a teammate is struggling and the first to offer help. They build community, foster collaboration, and create a psychologically safe environment where people feel valued and supported. They are driven by a genuine desire to help and to nurture the well-being of the group. A team with a strong, positive caregiver energy is one with high morale, open communication, and a strong sense of loyalty. They are the heart of the team, ensuring that the human element is not forgotten in the pursuit of targets and deadlines. This energy is absolutely vital for a healthy company culture. But the caregiver also has a pervasive shadow, the martyr. When possessed by this shadow, the caregiver's desire to help becomes a compulsive need to be needed. They sacrifice their own needs and boundaries to please others, leading to burnout and resentment. They can also become enablers, helping in ways that prevent others from learning and growing on their own. They do the work for people instead of supporting them to do it themselves, which creates dependency. The martyr feels like a victim, secretly resentful of all the work they do, yet unable to stop, because their entire identity is tied to being the helper. To be a great teammate, you must embody the caregiver's compassion, but you must also be aware of its shadow. You must ask, am I helping or am I enabling? Am I supporting from a place of strength or sacrificing from a place of depletion? Is my yes coming from genuine generosity or from a fear of saying no? Every company that wants to stay relevant needs the energy of the innovator as the creator. The creator archetype is the pattern of imagination, artistry, and invention. This is the force that drives us to make something new, to bring a vision into being. In the workplace, the creator is the out-of-the-box thinker, the designer, the engineer, the artist, the entrepreneur. They are not content with the status quo. They are always asking, what if we did it this way? They are the source of new products, new solutions, and new ways of thinking. They are passionate, inspired, and often work in bursts of intense energy. A team or company with a strong creator archetype is one that is dynamic, adaptive, and a leader in its field. They are the engine of innovation and progress. Without the creator, organizations become stagnant and are eventually left behind. The shadow of the creator, however, can manifest in several ways. The first is perfectionism. The creator can become so obsessed with their ideal vision that they are never able to finish a project. They endlessly tweak and refine, unable to let their creation go into the world because it's not yet perfect. This can lead to missed deadlines and a failure to launch. Another shadow is the mad scientist, who creates without considering the consequences. They are so in love with their own innovative power that they ignore the ethical or practical implications of what they are making. They innovate for the sake of innovation, disconnected from human need or a moral compass. Finally, the shadow can be the starving artist, full of brilliant ideas, but lacking the practical skills to bring them into reality. To be a true innovator, you must harness the passion of the creator, but you must also be mindful of its shadow. You must ask, is my pursuit of excellence becoming paralyzing perfectionism? Am I considering the real-world impact of my creation? Do I have the practical support needed to bring my vision to life? Innovation needs a partner. A vision needs grounding. This is the role of the expert as the sage. The sage archetype is the pattern of knowledge, truth, and wisdom. This is the seeker of information, the analyst, the mentor. In the workplace, the sage is the person who has deep expertise in their field. They are the data scientists, the researchers, the senior advisors, the mentors who have seen it all before. They are driven by a desire to understand the world objectively and to find the truth. They make decisions based on evidence, research, and careful analysis. They provide the critical thinking and objective reality checks that prevent a company from chasing foolish ideas. A team with a strong sage energy is one that makes smart, informed decisions. They learn from the past, they understand the present, and they can forecast the future based on data, not just wishful thinking. The sage provides the wisdom that tempers the creator's raw passion and the ruler's ambition. The shadow of the sage is dogmatism and detachment. When possessed by the shadow, the expert becomes an ivory tower academic. They can become so attached to their own knowledge and theories that they are completely closed off to new information, especially if it contradicts what they already know. They can use their expertise to intimidate others, spouting jargon and complex data to prove their intellectual superiority rather than to create clarity. They can also suffer from analysis paralysis, endlessly gathering information but never reaching a conclusion or taking action. They can become completely detached from the practical human realities of their work, seeing people and problems as mere data points on a spreadsheet. To be a valuable expert, you must embody the sage's pursuit of truth. But you must also ask, am I using my knowledge to enlighten or to intimidate? Am I open to being wrong? Is my analysis connected to the real-world needs of my team and my customers? Vision, collaboration, innovation, and wisdom are all essential. But at some point, a goal must be achieved. A challenge must be overcome. This is the domain of the go-getter as the hero. The hero archetype is the pattern of discipline, courage, and goal-oriented action. In the workplace, the hero is the high performer, the project manager who always delivers, the salesperson who always hits their target. They are driven by a desire to prove their strength and worth by overcoming obstacles and achieving difficult goals. They are focused, disciplined, and resilient. When a project is failing or a deadline is looming, everyone looks to the hero to come in and save the day. They thrive on challenge and are motivated by the prospect of victory. A team with strong hero energy is one that gets things done. They don't just talk, they execute. They are masters of overcoming adversity and meeting their commitments. The hero provides the propulsive force that turns a plan into a reality. The shadow of the hero is ruthlessness and burnout. When possessed by the shadow, the hero can become obsessed with winning at all costs. They see colleagues not as teammates, but as competitors or obstacles. They can be willing to cut corners or sacrifice ethical principles to achieve their goal. Their identity becomes so tied to their achievements that they are terrified of failure, which can lead them to become a workaholic, sacrificing their health, their relationships, and their well-being for the next victory. They can also have a hammer and nail mentality, seeing every problem as a battle to be won, even when a more collaborative or creative approach is needed. To be an effective achiever, you must harness the discipline of the hero. But you must also ask, am I pursuing this goal with integrity? Am I supporting my teammates or just competing with them? Is this victory worth the price I am paying in my own well-being? So we have met the key players on the corporate stage: the visionary ruler, the supportive caregiver, the innovative creator, the knowledgeable sage, and the disciplined hero. The secret to a truly great team or organization is not to have everyone embody the same archetype. A team of all rulers would be a constant power struggle. A team of all creators would have brilliant ideas but never finish anything. A team of all caregivers would be kind but might lack direction and accountability. The secret is archetypal synergy. It is about building a team where these different archetypal energies are present and held in a healthy, balanced tension. The visionary ruler needs the expert sage to challenge their ideas and ground them in reality. The innovative creator needs the disciplined hero to take their brilliant vision and execute it. The entire team needs the caregiver to maintain morale and ensure everyone feels supported and valued. A conscious leader acts like an alchemist, understanding the different elemental energies on their team and knowing how to combine them. They know when to call on the sage for data, when to empower the creator to experiment, when to deploy the hero to hit a target, and when to listen to the careg's insights about team health. When you look at a dysfunctional team, you can often diagnose the problem in archetypal terms. Is there no clear vision? Perhaps the ruler archetype is weak or absent. Is the team burned out and resentful? The caregiver energy has likely turned into its martyr shadow. Is the company failing to innovate? The creator is being stifled, probably by a dogmatic sage or a tyrannical ruler. Building a successful team is about more than just skills and experience. It is about creating a balanced psychological ecosystem, a roundtable where each archetypal knight has a voice and an honored role to play in the service of a common quest. Understanding this framework is not just for leaders and managers. It is a powerful tool for personal self-awareness and career development for every individual. The next step on this journey is to turn the lens inward and ask, what is my dominant archetype at work? In what role do I feel most natural, most energized, and most effective? Are you the person everyone turns to for a clear decision and a sense of direction? You might be operating from the ruler archetype. Are you the one who naturally smooths over conflicts, supports your colleagues, and builds team spirit? Your strength may lie in the caregiver. Are you constantly coming up with new ideas, challenging the old ways of doing things, and getting excited by innovation? You are likely channeling the creator. Are you the go-to expert, the one who loves research data and finding the objective truth? You may be a sage. Or are you the one who loves a challenge, who is incredibly disciplined, and who feels a deep satisfaction from hitting a difficult target? You are likely the hero. Identifying your natural archetypal strength is empowering. It helps you understand your unique value and lean into the roles where you can contribute the most. But the work doesn't stop there. For every archetypal strength, there is a corresponding shadow. Once you identify your primary role, you must also ask the difficult question, what is the shadow side of this archetype, and how might it be showing up in my behavior? The ruler must be wary of becoming the tyrant. The caregiver must avoid martyrdom. The creator must guard against perfectionism. This self-awareness allows you to consciously harness the power of your archetype while mitigating its risks. It is the key to transforming an unconscious pattern into a conscious strength. The final goal of this work is not simply to identify your one archetype and stay there. That is just the beginning. The ultimate path to becoming a truly exceptional leader, teammate, and innovator is to develop archetypal flexibility. This is the ability to consciously recognize which archetypal energy is needed in a given situation and to embody that energy purposefully. This is conscious leadership. A crisis might call for the decisive, commanding energy of the ruler. A one-on-one conversation with a struggling employee requires the compassionate listening of the caregiver. A brainstorming session needs the open, imaginative spirit of the creator. A budget meeting demands the objective, analytical mind of the sage. A looming deadline requires the focused, disciplined drive of the hero. A leader who is stuck in only one archetype will be ineffective. The ruler who cannot access their caregiver will be seen as a tyrant. The creator who cannot access their hero will never ship a product. The sage who cannot access their ruler will never have their ideas implemented. The journey of professional development seen through a Jungian lens is about expanding your archetypal range. It is about doing the inner work to develop the roles that are less natural for you. It means a natural hero might need to practice the art of listening, and a natural caregiver might need to practice the art of making a tough, unpopular decision. By understanding this hidden layer of the human experience, you move beyond simple personality traits and into the dynamic, powerful world of the psyche. You learn that leadership is not a static role, but a conscious dance with the ancient, powerful archetypes that live within us all.